Hey, this is Brian O'Halloran. You might know me from such great films as Clerks, Clerks 2, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Brutal Massacre, many IMDb. Vulgar, written and directed, co-star Brian Johnson, no less. And you're watching the PBR broadcast.
Hit it! Culture, sophisticated
Podcast Nation. Now tell me something good. Oh yeah.
Good timing.
What's up, everybody? PBR podcast. Mike Polano, Derek D. Frankie's at the table. And sitting in, we have a very special guest with a very amazing sweatshirt on. Mr. Brian O'Halloran, everybody.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Let's go, Rangers!
If you're not watching the YouTube, he does have a New York Rangers sweatshirt on, and it is the playoffs coming up.
That's right.
When
Hockey playoffs, so long.
no longer than basketball.
Pro basketball or
what other-
No, we're gonna care about fucking college basketball.
Yeah, well, like, what other basketball are you talking about, man?
Well, I don't know. I nothing against it. I'm just saying it's long. I guess I'm just used to football
Like
playoffs.
baseball's not long.
Well, but isn't hockey the longest?
No, baseball is
No,
a
baseball is the
182 game season.
No, the playoffs.
Yeah, but we're talking about the playoffs. The
playoffs are still
season's long. I'm just saying the playoffs.
Are the
Right?
NHL playoffs any? What's the format for baseball? You still play 7 game? Don't you play 7 game series?
Isn't it 5-7-7?
5. Yeah, then it starts at 5 and then it goes to 7.
Oh, so 2
I mean,
games
it's still a lot
is
of
that
games.
much of a difference?
What's the series in hockey
7 games,
for every playoff?
3 rounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It seems like a lot.
It's 21 games. If you go 7.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I guess it doesn't always.
I got to be honest.
I just feel like every time I'm watching ESPN or something, so during hockey playoff time, it's
Isn't it great?
nothing against it. I mean, great if you're a huge
You
fan.
obviously have some sort
You
of...
are. You
No,
look
no,
a little
no.
bitter, man.
I'm not bitter. I just think it's long.
You don't strike me by your
don't think
height
so. I
that
had
to
a
be a
shitty day.
basketball
How
fan.
about this? How about because hockey, which is just getting almost the same amount of hitting as football, I know people are going to be like, no, it's not. They hit every play in football. But
Well, they hit, I think,
but
harder
still-
now in hockey.
right, and fighting. Like, you can't fight there, in football, but in, hockey, there is actual fighting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've had this argument before with people about football is tougher. And now, like, you know what? It is. They break their legs. That's why they can only do it once a week and stuff like that. But there are some times a week where we're playing hockey. Back to the week thing. That hockey teams are playing like 3 games, 4 games a week.
There's no doubt that's grueling on your body.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, you know what? I never really thought about that.
16
man.
games or 82 games? Come on.
Yeah, it does turn out to be. I do believe that it's more toll on the hockey player. Clearly, man.
Which is the fact that you're playing more.
Much more
games going 100%.
And,
like
you know,
practice, are you going? I mean,
You might not be getting hit by a 300-pound person, but you're
Correct.
getting hit at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Or having a puck being shot at you at 120
each
miles an hour.
sport equally brutal. I would say
Absolutely.
pretty brutal.
Absolutely.
But that's why we love them, right?
But don't be bitching about playoffs, man. Come
I'm
on.
not saying they're long. I really wasn't bitching. I don't care either way, long, short, whatever.
It's the best. It's the best time of the year, hands down.
Oh, Christmas, but okay.
But now,
I'm not a big fan of Christmas.
but actually, now the league is in football. They're actually thinking about extending, cutting down preseason games and making it instead of 16 games, like 18 games.
There's preseason football is a quarter of a regular season.
Right.
That's dumb. 2 preseason games. That's it.
Well, that's what they're thinking about doing.
Yeah.
As long as they don't go beyond February for the friggin' Super Bowl, and then that's when I think it would get ridiculous.
They need to make the Super Bowl the Sunday before President's Day.
Why? So you get that day off?
It's a national holiday here in America.
Yeah, the
It
NFL
really is.
stole a day from God. I
A
get
lot
it,
of people take off
Why
the
are
next
you
day.
Why are you pissing off the people who love President's Day? Why piss on it by making it all of a sudden now we got to share that holiday?
He's communist.
I'm just saying.
You know what? You know who would
gotta-
squash that? Merchandisers, because there's President Day sales,
Well,
and then
well,
there's
yeah.
Super Bowl Day sales. Mm-hmm. So,
Well,
they'd
yeah.
be like, "Oh no, we need those two separated."
That's one of the main reasons it's on a Sunday. Everyone's home.
right.
I'd hate to go to the well this early, but he's communist, and there's
Who's
this-
communist?
You are.
Yeah,
he's
right.
he maybe I'll call him socialist. Maybe
that's much
Please,
right. I mean,
not even close to either.
well, let's ask Bernie Sanders why they don't switch it from President's Day, right? Bern, you here?
Let me tell you that I approve of Derek D, even though I am not. He will not be voting for me.
Derek, you're not going to vote for Bernie?
No,
But no, I'll rephrase the question. Derek, you're not going to vote for Bernie?
no, I'm not voting for
Who are
Bernie.
you going to vote for, Don?
I don't know who I'm voting for.
Don, would you even want Derek's vote?
Let me tell you something. I would love this guy's vote. He's great. He's going to be fantastic. He's one of the coolest guys I've ever met.
You're an idiot, Mike.
It's terrible, right? You gotta, you usually you don't go to the well that early. You let it warm up.
What?
Yeah, I hit you a little early this episode.
I mean, I've had a bad day, so I'm just in a weird mood.
Episode title. God, if it wasn't titled
My
Brian
Trump wasn't
O'Halloran,
100%?
it would be entitled Derek's having a bad day. So you are from Staten Island, actor, voiceover artist, director. You've directed.
I have directed plays and other short films and stuff like that.
Now you grew up in Highlands, New Jersey, right? Or
No.
Where did you grow up?
I'll give you my quick history. I grew up, born in Manhattan, grew up in the Bronx till the age of 10. Then we moved to Bergen County, New Jersey. We lived in Palisade Park for about 3 years. And then moved down to Old Bridge, New Jersey, down in right not far from here, and lived there most of my young adult life. Had friends who all went to Rutgers, so I lived with them out on the New Brunswick campus for a while. And then that's when Kevin was doing Clerks and came down to audition because I had done stage plays out of Atlantic Highlands First Avenue Playhouse Theater. So, and since then, about 6 years ago, I moved to Staten Island, and I've been there since.
All right, so check this out. You are officially the first person to ever move to Staten Island.
No, I know. Everybody says that. They're like, why did you do that? A friend of mine had a two-family house that his upstairs tenant moved out, and I was looking just to get closer to New York to make the commute a little bit easier for me from time to time. And it was a great place, and it's a nice neighborhood. It's the Woodrow area of Staten Island, and to be honest with you, it's now the best place, and has been for a while, I guess, the best place to get Italian food in New York City. I mean, it used to be Brooklyn. Now it's Staten Island. All the old school Italians have moved to Staten Island. It's their last. It's the last stop before they do that final jump into Jersey.
So wait. So what you're contending is that like gentrification has come full circle in a sense, like right? Because when my parents grew up on Staten Island, they all moved to New Jersey, Brooklyn, wherever they outskirts, right? And then Staten Island kind of had a downturn, if you will. Now it's coming back. Like the other places are getting gentrified. Brooklyn is now hipster.
Correct.
The Italians want to go away from
Right,
hipsters.
they want to get away with that.
They move back to Staten Island.
Yeah.
Wow, it's full circle.
Isn't it
You
always?
heard it here first. I guess it is, man. If you live long enough, you'll see it, right?
I think they like the safety that it's an island.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, unless you're living near the coast and a big storm blows through, but otherwise, it's actually some of the best food I've had is there out in Staten Island.
I can't agree with you more, man. Like my whole family's from Staten Island, so I spent a lot of time there, and it's funny because as I get older, I end up like you can't get away from the island. Like it just keeps pulling you back.
Well, that's like Brian Quinn as well. you
Yeah,
know.
I mean he's there. Even Sal's still there, but I end up going back there. We just did a shoot on Staten Island for an episode of Jokers. There was a punishment. I don't want to say too much because it probably won't air before this comes out. But I had a terrible experience.
Oh,
I was operating my drone. I was flying the drone to
now
shoot.
is it registered?
Stop it.
Oh well, the FAA is.
Doesn't it have to be a certain size, a certain kind of drone?
Correct. You have to have everything, especially in the city.
Any drone?
Any drone has to be registered with the city.
I have heard that. I thought it was
So in New York.
especially in New York City.
Yeah, well,
Because they
it's
give
funny
you
'cause
they give you the borders of where you can't fly it, you can't get it close to this, that, and the other thing.
I mean, I kind of follow the rules. In this case, I wasn't, and that's why it's crashed now. But you keep referring to Staten Island as New York City, and I think that's cute.
I mean, it's not. It's never really considered New York City when the people of City Hall allocate funds. Or plow.
It
for
is
that
a borough,
matter.
right?
Yeah, it is a borough. It is a borough originally owned by New Jersey, but it is a borough.
So I was flying the drone, getting some pretty cool shots. I was over by what is now called the Korean Memorial Highway.
Yep, also known as the Richmond Parkway.
Right. So it over by the mall. And if you're on that highway, it's kind of like interesting of a highway
which was featured in the War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
Was it?
Yeah, when he's speeding along and going along the highway, that's where they filmed it.
Oh, I did not know that.
And you're fucking from there. Wow.
Well, I was born here, but So if you're on that highway, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're like on the side of the highway up high is like a 3 lanes of road, and then there's a neighborhood, right? So it's kind of like neighborhood overhangs a lot of the.
Well, yeah, it's a highway that cuts right in between, easily all these neighborhoods.
Right?
Yeah, with a service road on either side.
Service, right. So we're filming on the service road, and the service road, as you can imagine, has a lot of low-hanging trees, lots of power lines, stoplights, and it has on and offs to the highway.
Drumgool Way.
Is that what it's called?
Drumgool Way West.
There you go.
yes.
So we're filming on Drumgool Way.
Hey, don't go away over
It was
here.
a very, very aggressive location to be flying a drone. Okay, so we're
A lot of objects.
lot of objects. I kick ass, man. Like I do not hit anything. Tractor trailers coming down the road. I'm running, trying to get out of other people's shots. There's a big motion in this scene. You know, I'm kicking ass the entire time. Shot's over. I'm going to land it.
Oh, no.
Fucking what do you want to call it? A production van comes around the corner.
Like a production for the show, van?
Yeah, man. You know, I as aggressive as I was that day flying it, I was kind of aggressive landing it. I was across Drumgool Way with my back to the fence of the parkway, the
highway,
houses
right?
or the other
Yep.
side. There was a lot of traffic going by. There was some parked cars, and I'm like, I could see what the drone sees, so I see in front of it. I'm probably eye level. And I'm like, I'm gonna slip it in behind this car, put it right on the sidewalk, all good. Well, I was starting to do that, and then here comes the van, whips around the corner. Now, there's argument to this day as to whether or not the van hit
I've seen
it,
pics.
or if I hit something, but it goes down bad. Here's my question: you're in a car.
Right.
It's a DJI Phantom drone. I don't know if you've seen it. It's not that big. It's not that heavy. But if you're in a car and a drone crashes next to you, do you hear it or feel it and stop?
Like a child? Like as if I had hit a child?
If I heard something
like
and
you
thought
know you hit a dog or something.
well, I mean, if it hit my car, I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
If it
stop.
hit your car, you'd know, right? That's my
Right.
point exactly. I say they hit it. They say we didn't hit it, but they stopped and all jumped out of the car.
Then they hit it.
They
And
totally
know
hit it.
You don't jump out of the car for seeing something land.
There you go.
Oh, horseshit.
They totally hit it, man. So
Marilyn Mignon on the People's Car would be like, oh, why would you jump out of the car?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So anyway,
But then wasn't it just one propeller section that got...
yeah, but it was bigger than that, man, because it was the one propeller smashed, but the what happened was the arm broke, and then the screw the propeller got so hot from like the crash, and it just kept spinning. I couldn't get it to shut off. It was like a computer malfunction
Right.
as well, that it melted. The engine got so hot it melted the engine screws right through the plastic, which destroyed the whole arm.
So isn't there...
Everybody
a silver,
just completely tuned out of this episode.
Are these like $1,500 drones? What are these?
Isn't this a silver lining at the end of this?
I'm in the process of repairing it.
Oh, okay.
They did right. Production did right.
Oh, well, okay. Well, then there you go.
I
As long
showed
as
them
they
the
did
footage.
right.
I showed them the footage.
Well, of
and-
course, you have it on camera.
Yeah. So, it's a DJI Phantom. 4K camera on it. Like pretty prevalent.
Yeah, I got to fix that.
You gotta have that thing flying during podcast now.
In my one-man show, we need that.
Just in the background, you hear this.
That is an issue on set.
Sell some sort of sponsorship. Our drone cam sponsored by blah
Right.
blah blah blah.
You
That's
see
just
it,
put music over it. That's the
Right.
kind of thing.
you see it in every show now too. I'm always yelling drone shot in every single show, and it
Well, think
adds a
about
lot.
it. Think about nowadays what you used to have a helicopter, a cameraman hanging out of a helicopter. You have to have a pilot.
Very
you have to-
expensive to do that.
Now
yeah.
it's a little remote with your iPhone on it, and you look what the thing sees.
You may or may not remember this. I'm going to throw it out there, 60% this one. In 2000, roughly 2004, Red Bank, next to the hospital, they picked up a 100-year-old house and drove it across town.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yep.
So, yeah, I heard about this. Yeah.
So I shot a documentary of that with a company. I was a camera operator on it. And excuse me. And they actually had a helicopter, and I was up in the helicopter hanging out, getting aerial footage of this.
So $300 an hour for the copter,
Right?
minimum.
Right? You have a spotter,
Right.
you have a camera operator,
You got to have someone connected to air traffic control. Make sure it
Yep.
doesn't go over 500 feet.
all of the communications down on the ground, the production crew. Like it was super expensive to get a 30-second shot of the house driving through the street.
Now you
know
can
what
pay
I mean?
some dude $10 an hour or just free pizza.
Let's
if he
not
has
get
his own.
let's not get crazy. $10
Yeah, I
an
know.
hour. Come on, full day rate.
Right, full day rate, and then his own drone, and next thing you know, you have 4K quality, amazing.
Steady.
Bada
When I
bing.
tell you I could rock that drone in the air, like any which way, the camera
except land.
except land it.
It's a gimbal.
The camera does not move. And
You're like a terrorist. Like I can fly that motherfucker great, but I can't land it for shit.
listen,
I just blow things up.
is that not the problem here though? the drones and terrorism? Do you find that to be? I know it's way off topic, but
Well, that is exactly why.
That's
they're
why you
like,
have to register them and all that.
Besides the guy who like crashed it at the U.S. Open tennis tournament, and he's like, he's like a teacher, a public school teacher.
Yeah,
in
he's
New
just trying to
York
get a
City.
good
I just
shot.
wanted to see a great shot above the tennis court, and then he lost his signal. Signal wasn't strong enough, and then bam, it went down in the middle during a match. And and all the cops come in like, oh my god, back up, you know.
It's literally just a guy with a that sucks.
I'm terrified because
that's when they win. If you're terrified, that's their point.
Shit.
Then they win. Can I say they?
I hope so.
Yes, you can.
That's why you don't want to say we when you're talking about ISIS.
Right.
Speaking
I
of-
hope you're not saying we when talking about ISIS.
What if that? Well, you said, can I say they? We're talking about like, what if that slipped? You know, what if he was just telling an ISIS story? It was like, we really are looking into.
I remember
Joe.
this time when we were at the airport and I had this big floppy hat on and I pushed the cart and I chickened out and left my bomb left there.
Speaking of we,
Yeah.
I got to say this.
As in the American we?
No, as in we TV.
Oh, we TV.
As in we TV.
Women's television?
Yep.
Oh, Derek, hold on. Before we even talk,
I got no.
DerekD.com, everybody.
No. I got to preface this. This is
Derek's
coming,
about to
this
plug
is-
Derek.
No, I'm not plugging me. I'd rather you not go watch this. This past Friday, this is coming out. This is Monday today, so you could probably watch it on demand. But just letting you guys know that the Driven to Love show that I'm on this past Friday with Ray J. It aired this past Friday, and you can watch it on demand. But I don't.
So wait, how's this not a self promotion?
No, I'm just saying you can go see because like, was that you? I already be getting emails. People are like, were you on the commercial for that? And
So, but
it
links up to terrorism. How?
we were saying we.
come
We
out.
were saying we. We. What? So it popped in my head because I just got the email from the producer.
Speaking of I'm
We
probably
TV.
going on a great adventure probably this year. Well, you know, when you're on a roller coaster, you go wee.
Totally.
Is that the kind of connection you're trying to pull on? This one?
I just
You know what?
later, remembered we.
Later today, I'm probably going to use the restroom. You know, I'm going to go. I'm going to
Yeah,
go.
we.
I'm going to go. We.
See,
We were talking about French Canadians. They say yes, and they use the word we.
Right.
Every type of word that we can use we for.
it's true. I'm just saying it reminded me of it. And I wanted to. I put a mental note in my head to mention it during the show, and that's what reminded me of it. We were talking about terrorism. How do we even
Women's
fucking talk about
entertainment,
terrorism? Anyway,
Derek.
it's probably terrible. And if you watched it, I'm sorry.
Wow,
I will never do.
confidence. You have such confidence, sir. It's probably terrible.
No. I have full confidence in myself. I was single. I'd never been on a dating show. I was like, you know what? I'll do it. And I did it. Never going to do it again.
He also posts nude photos of himself online.
Never done that in my life.
Well,
but
we can
that's
show
just-
you.
that's
We can
just-
show it. You can just look at our Instagram.
That's a shirtless photo taken from. How many times I gotta fucking say this?
Do you have plans for a political career later in life? Because that's the only time that these things will come back up. where
Zero
we're like-
plan, and it's a professional photo of my shirt off.
You know, Ronald Reagan.
In case my agent wants to send stuff for maybe a bathing suit
porn.
commercial.
Ronald Reagan was
Gay
probably
porn.
also self-promoting. May have been on the We Network and then became president. So you never know.
Well, we didn't exist.
New game on PBR. It's called True or False.
Yeah!
Derek loves Derek. Round table it. True or false? Derek loves Derek.
Oh, totally true.
Frankie?
True.
Derek?
Sorry,
It's true.
Jake.
It's totally true. Wow. That was an easy game. Everybody wins.
I always win. I don't always win.
Are there-
Seriously though,
are there-
you
wait, are
we
there
kept
any-
saying we, and it popped in my head. I was like, oh shit, let me say this before I forget. Because I'm very self-conscious about this, and I don't want really anyone to watch it. But if they did, I'm
I
apologizing.
don't want anyone to watch it. Thus, let me all tell you what
I'm apologizing.
I don't want. No, you didn't say. I'd like to start off by saying I'm sorry. That's an apology. You don't go like, honey, I went and I fucked that chick hard, and we had great sex, and she had such a banging tits. But I'm so sorry. You don't start an apology like, by the way, folks, if you're watching that's not the apology start.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, someone
I'm
needs
embarrassed about this.
You need lessons in apology taking
Maybe I
or
do.
giving.
I
Before we continue to explore the revolution of our guest here, is there anything else you'd like to plug?
Your beard, shave it.
My beard.
Yeah.
It's the playoffs. Are you doing playoffs?
you doing
beard?
playoff
Is that what this is?
I will do a playoff beard.
But you have to shave again.
I
and
will.
then-
They didn't play yet, man. They play
Wednesday.
Well, if you're
Tomorrow.
listening to this,
Or,
they
well,
played already. They already
yeah,
had 2 games.
We're
so-
already ahead a couple of games, I guess.
Yeah, we'll be looking towards game 3, but I will be shaving. Actually, I plan on shaving tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Well, there you go. Completely?
All of it.
Head?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I'm bald, and I generally
all
shave.
right.
I shave my
I always
head.
see you with a hat, so I.
Yeah. No, you know,
I
I'm
never
like a
assumed.
male,
All right.
male pattern baldness. You know
Right
what I
on.
mean?
You can be, I always like to say it, you're Lex Luthor in training.
yeah, I
think it's kinda cool.
I don't have the evil mastermind mentality, but
Neither did Jesse Eisenberg, but don't worry.
Did you dig?
Did you see
Batman
it?
vs Superman?
I dug the performances. Jesse, I think, was auditioning to be the Joker. It was not far from the Zuckerberg role with 5 more cups of coffee, perhaps.
Yeah.
So that part of that character being written, I didn't agree with. There's a couple of plot holes. I don't know if we want to discuss on air, but that I saw in the beginning as an uber nerd, science nerd, especially that would never happen.
What do you mean? Wait, you're going to break down the science of it?
Well, no, I mean science and also just technical government tactics would never happen. Like so let's say Ground Zero happened, right? And obviously that spaceship is sitting in the center of the town. For those who've seen the movie, if you haven't, you may want to switch over to the Wii network and watch it.
I haven't seen it yet either, but you can go watch the Wii.
I mean, spoiler alerts. I mean, come on.
Spoiler,
You've seen it?
totally spoiler.
Oh, I saw
but
it.
There are
We're about to
certain
spoil the shit
there are
out of it.
certain things they're investigating the ship that crashed. When they were flying through the middle of the city, busting into thousands of buildings, and they can't get into it for a whole year apparently. But somehow Lex Luthor figures out by doing something that was just like, well, why didn't you just ask Superman to do it for you? So that was a plot hole. That was a gigantic one. Like, I guess I just should dumb it down. And then there was a few other things, and Lex got away with things that normally governments don't allow any private corporation to ever do. But it's a comic book, and everybody's like, relax, Brian.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it? Sorry, but isn't it based? What is that whole thing is based on that one comic where
No.
They really
loosely
expand.
based on the Dark. If you're talking about the Frank Miller Dark Knight
when
series,
he fights
correct. But they also, well, then if you're going to do that,
Well,
then
he fought for a year, didn't he?
Yeah, and also, it was a Batman who was very much older. He had a young female Robin, which there was some sort of pedophilia that there was going. It was that kind of thing going on, and it was very dark. And of course, DC would never allow that to be put into a movie.
I haven't seen it, but usually when you ask a kid something, they tell you the truth. My nephew went and saw it. He's 9. I go, what'd you think? He's like, I just didn't know why Superman and Batman were fighting. Is that prevalent?
No, it was very clear
Or was
why they
that
were
very
fighting.
clear?
It was kind of clear.
He just seemed like he's like,
He might be too young to understand it.
It would be like if someone was going through the streets of New York killing villains or taking care of villains, and the cops are like, you cannot do this.
Yeah.
And so the cops would eventually want to arrest who's ever doing this.
Yeah, it might have went over a young kid's head.
oh, okay.
Yeah. But I think Ben did an awesome job.
So did I. But to what you said about Batman being really old in that episode, because I thought Ben played a really good older Batman. Right?
Absolutely. He was the best Bruce Wayne. Like, I liked...
You think better than Christian Bale?
I think he did a better Bruce Wayne as Christian Bale, and Christian Bale was really great. And I'm not knocking Christian Bale at all, but I think someone who was just like, fuck these guys, they're fucking criminals, and this is how they should be treated. I thought he brought out that best way, as opposed to no killing. That whole thing with Catwoman was just like, there's killing involved.
I thought he did a great job, man. He is not. I had no contention with him. He might be one of my favorite Batman.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
I'm not.
I gotta see it.
I didn't love the joke. I didn't love Lex Luthor
because you said it. Because he sounded like the Joker.
Yeah,
and so I'm very interested to see how Suicide Squad comes out.
So that's going to be the same universe,
That
right?
trailer
So
that's
looks good.
exactly the same universe.
All right. Here is an issue then, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Jared Leto plays the Joker,
Correct.
in Suicide Squad.
Correct.
The guy who shot Bruce Wayne's parents is clearly not Jared Leto.
Correct, but the
Joker.
Oh, you're going back to.
That's not what happened.
That actually was a different character. Now, I'm not an total uber comic book geek at all. I'm more like, here, you need to read this comic book type of thing. Like, I have friends who tell me what's to catch up what's going on. But yeah, the Joker was never the original guy who...
My fault.
Well, in the Michael Keaton one,
he was.
I
thought that
Did you ever
was
dance
true.
with the devil? And the
Right,
devil?
exactly. It all depends. They moved that storyline around.
Yeah.
And that was another thing. It was just like, really, do we need to see the origin story yet again?
Do you watch Gotham?
I thought the same thing.
No, I do not, unfortunately. And it's not because I don't like it. It's just I don't have time. It's because people are like, have you seen Flash? Have you seen Gotham? Have you seen that? It's
Yeah, I haven't
Daredevil.
seen
I'm
Flash.
just like, there's so much stuff to see. Like, I would literally have to go up in a cabin in the woods and for 3 months to catch up on everything I need to catch up. I'm like, how do you not watch Game of Thrones? It's because I'm doing shit.
I'm doing life.
Do you watch Game of Thrones? Do you watch?
I watch Game of Thrones.
You watch? I don't watch.
Well,
it.
everything's on demand now. It's so great. That's the best
Right,
part.
which I always go, I have time. You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm going into an office job where someone at the at lunch is like, "Oh my God, did you see last night's?" Like, no. So I at least I don't have to worry about friends going like, "Did you see such and such?" Now they always ask me all the time, like, "Oh," and I know friends who are on these series. I mean, fuck, Kevin Smith just got done directing an episode of The Flash for God's sake.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I haven't seen The Flash, but I've heard a lot of good things.
So his
I
thing
watched
was
Daredevil.
he just got done directing it. I don't know when it's coming out, but I'm sure it's in a couple of months or weeks or whatever.
He's loving L.A.
From what I gather, yeah.
Come on, man. He needs to move back.
No, he's enjoying the accessibility of getting things done. Plus, he's always on the road anyway. He's always doing his Evening with Kevin Smith or Jay and Silent Bob Gets Old. So, his house is awesome. He bought it from Ben years and years ago, and his wife loves living in L.A., and his kid, that's her life. That's where she always grew up.
Maybe, she was just on an episode of, what was she on an episode of? Comic Book Men?
Oh, the daughter, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oldest daughter.
She's older now.
Harley Quinn.
She's 20s, right?
No, she's 16, 15,
Oh, really?
16. Yeah. Her and
Damn,
her
my
and
eyes.
Johnny Depp's daughter were the stars of his latest film, Yoga Hosers, that he released. Up
Who,
in
Kevin
Sundance.
Smith's or-
Yeah, Kevin Smith's daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter.
Oh, nice.
So,
I was just going to ask you something, and I had a brain for it. I apologize.
don't worry about it.
This is terrible. This is terrible. It was really good, too. It was a question.
You'll get it
I had
back.
a good question.
Kevin Smith, house, L.A., daughter. Thought she was older.
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
There you go.
Has nothing to do with anything you just said. But maybe you could shed some light on this. Huge fan. We talked earlier a little bit about Walking Dead.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of the comic book The Preacher.
Okay.
Now, what happened? Now, I know AMC is now releasing it, but didn't Kevin write the first draft of...
That I don't know.
Okay.
That I couldn't confirm nor
I could be
deny.
wrong.
No.
Do
I'm just not in that loop.
Are you familiar with that comic?
I am familiar with the comic.
Did you see the previews? Do you watch Walking Dead?
I don't watch Walking
either.
Dead once again, and yet I'm friends with quite a bit of the cast.
You're mad also that Ming Chen's getting killed off?
You know what? As long as it's a good death. I always find like people's like, oh, so-and-so got killed off. I'm like, was it a good death? Then it's a memorable death and you went and you fulfilled your need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of like what the BBC does with TV series. They go like 3-4 years and then we're done. We're not going to I don't care if we're popular. We're going to be done and move on to other things. Plus, as the actors, you kind of want to do other things too. So sometimes doing a series or a character for 7, 8, 9 years, you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, it's stability.
It is stability. It's a paycheck, and I get it. But after 5 years, you should have enough to put aside, unless you have.
Then
some
you got
sort
syndication too.
Of, right?
Well,
Unless you
theoretically.
have some sort of crazy heroin or cocaine addiction, then
Yeah.
As I sniff.
No we comment? I'm going to play top or bottom, Derek, but before I go into top or bottom, is there anything you'd like to plug?
No, I'm not. No.
Nothing?
Fast Lane Daily.
Ironically enough, this top or bottom is going to be all. Usually, it's based on our guest. I'm going to switch it up. It's going to be all about Derek D.
Yeah.
It's going to be top or bottom Derek D style.
No, it's not.
It's not.
No.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear that.
You know the sound. You've been on the show before. You've played this game. It's called top or bottom. I'm going to read you two terms. You're going to tell me if these two things were in a relationship, which one will be on the top and which one will be on the bottom.
Gotcha.
Ready to play?
Here we go.
Number one. We'll round table. Number one, Rangers or the Mets?
Rangers on top.
Clearly, right?
Yeah.
Not even a question?
No.
Yeah, I didn't
Even
write
the Mets would say,
I
yeah,
didn't write
we're
this.
on
I
the
just
bottom.
want to say, I didn't write this.
That's fine.
I would never disrespect you like that.
That's okay.
I knew you were going
I
to
got
show
an
up with
extra
some
one if you
Rangers,
don't have one.
Rangers swag on. We got a Rangers jersey hanging behind us.
We like to
This is
start
obvious-
out easy, you know?
Friggin' season ticket holder. Of course I'm going to wear it.
Yeah. Did you hold this season?
Yes, I share with other guys. We have 2 other groups of guys and 226.
Nice. My friend Greg Oliver, friend of the show, he's done a bunch of movies, Lemmy and documentarist.
Oh, very nice. I love
he
Lemmy.
had-
Lemmy was a great job.
Yeah, it was good, right?
Yeah, I loved it. God rest his soul.
He had the greatest idea before the garden was redone and we were shooting in the garden. He wanted to do in the Blue Seats. He wanted to do an animated series because we would shoot up there. And if you ever go up to the old Blue Seats,
Of course.
some real shit went on up there.
Oh, yeah.
and there were characters that have had those tickets for 100 years, man. They weren't giving them up, you know. And we were like, we just want to come up here and capture their audio for real and then animate it, it would have been such a good series, man.
Great idea.
You still could probably do that.
We
Do that with
pitched
any
it.
like Giant Cowboy
Yeah,
fans.
100%, right?
Those old timer fans. Oh,
we
man.
do
pitched
Upper
it.
Deck Jet games. It could probably be the same thing. Jet fans and Ranger fans are pretty much the
Bleacher
same fan.
creatures
Yes,
and
a
the-
Yankee bleach
Oh,
creatures.
you know what? Maybe we should run with this as a series. Like, you're like just.
That's not a bad idea.
You know,
And just call it the New York fan and go to every type of, every team,
Right.
but in the bleacher, cheap seat type of area.
Yeah, each episode's a different sport. You got hockey, you got
Only
the
if we
Nets,
knew-
you got the Islanders.
and then offset it with like going to like the U.S. Open.
yeah.
Where it's like, oh, they didn't have chutney for my bread.
Only if we knew some people in production that could get an idea of this made. Frankie, top or bottom?
I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm waiting for the Giannis. I'm gonna have to
Johnny'sPizzeria.com.
step away
You know-
any second.
I know why she did that, because if you look around this stupid basement, there's a ton of
It was definitely Mets.
Mets
She could
paraphernalia
definitely say
everywhere.
Mets.
Okay, you want me to sit in for this one? Mets.
Mets.
I couldn't get
I,
the-
you know,
get
we
to
are
that
we
part.
are below grade, but I would not use the term like basement for this fucking sweet kind of man cave looking goddamn place.
It's not a bad studio,
No,
right?
seriously, like this would be a packed on definitely on a Saturday night in some fucking Pennsylvania backwater area and you'd probably make $4 or $5 grand in bar sales alone.
Right.
It's pretty sweet down here. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it
no,
is.
hey, we're not disputing.
Like
that
I've been
at all.
into bars where it was literally a closet, and they were like, "What are you having?" We just got Yingling. That's it. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And by the way, I love Yingling. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with it.
I grew up actually a Mets fan, so I'd go Mets on top. But I don't dislike hockey.
Yeah, but that's because you don't follow hockey.
You don't get it.
I get no.
You don't get
it's
it.
fun. It's not that I don't get it.
playoffs go so long?
They do. They go long.
more Wii TV.
I don't watch League TV.
Why aren't they advertising we on MSG, man?
sport.
I never said it was a stupid sport.
This is the only sport I'll say they.
I haven't played roller hockey for a little while.
He rollerblades.
Come on, man. You gotta elaborate. You can't just say I rollerbladed.
Like it's gonna be any cooler if I elaborate.
Well, I mean, if you're playing roller hockey, I
That's
did
the
that.
only
that.
time it's okay.
Yeah.
No, but no, I was riding a half pipe and rails.
Did
and
you
ramps
or
and stuff
did
like
you
that.
not have wrist guards and spandex on, Derek?
Never.
Liar. The Rangers are clearly on top. Let's go to number 2. Top or bottom? Ben Affleck. Oh, we kind of touched upon this.
Yeah.
Or Christian Bale. I guess we're talking.
In the sense of Batman.
We're not talking sexually, right? I mean,
I'm not even going to assume. I'll say Ben on this one yet again. I was really, you know what it was? I went in with he's going to do great kind of expectations, and he surpassed it. To be honest with you, so I'll give it that. While Christian, I was like, well, he's great. I think he's going to do well, and he did. But I think it was the not expecting how well Ben did.
And it's
is
big,
what-
and it's big shoes to fill. I think
Yeah.
because there's all the
Well,
negatives.
plus when everybody heard it, they were like, "Oh, Ben Affleck, what the fuck?"
he
if
gets
people
that rap,
immediately
right?
are like-
Right?
That's
Who's
that
going to
rap.
be Robin? You know,
J Lo.
the guy's a great
Matt
actor.
Damon.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been good.
they should have joked with that.
I know. But
like a Jimmy Kimmel bit
To be
or
honest with you, if they should have then went Batman with a Boston accent. You know what I mean? Instead of the deep voice, just be all like, listen here, you know?
Oh, he's a Kennedy.
Yeah, it's Kennedy. Well, he's rich. And when
Yeah.
you're thinking rich Bostonian, it's got to be Kennedy.
That's great.
Listen here, Superman, you got to get out of town, you alien bastard.
That's such a good take. I like that. You know what I didn't know? I didn't know Gotham and Metropolis were across the river from. Has that always been?
That I don't know.
Is that just for this movie?
I always thought Gotham was New York and Metropolis I felt was like D.C. in my head. That's
Yeah.
what I always did. But once again, I'm not a avid
Yeah.
comic book follower, so don't geek and fucking text me going like, oh, you don't know the world.
Frankie, who's on top?
I do think Bale's an excellent actor. However, I like a comeback story, and I think Ben had that. His career had that dip down, and then he.
Where did it dip?
Yeah,
did.
those
He
Oscar
made-
wins
he-
really made
no,
him
he
lose.
made some
Right,
bad
that's what I'm
choices.
talking about. He
What
gets
was
the-
the movie with J-Lo?
Geely.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you
Geely,
go.
but that
terrible
was
decision.
that was just hey, we're dating and we have a ton of cash and people are gonna go watch this for whatever reason.
Yeah,
I don't think they did though.
He did a few. He did a few of those. That's
Players
the one
gonna
that
hate,
stands out, but
hate, man. That's
then when
all.
he came back as director, a couple of those, movies that he did, I'm trying to think of the name. The one he just recently did, Gone Girl, was
Right.
great.
Good movie. Dazed to,
that was-
let's
And
not
so-
short count Dazed
No,
and
no,
Confused.
that's what I mean. He
Directed
had a
Fargo,
great
or not
early
Fargo,
career.
Argo.
Argo.
Forget the
Excellent.
F.
That was the comeback.
Right, the Argo.
So Affleck on top.
But in order to come back, you have to go somewhere.
Geely.
One movie?
Yeah, but he wasn't off the map. He didn't.
Well, it didn't help.
He didn't jump
Kevin,
the shark.
It didn't
Yeah.
help Kevin Smith with
Jersey Girl. I was
unfortunately.
going to say.
Even though I love that movie.
I
but-
liked it too, but people would say that was in his downward slump.
Right.
I'm gonna go in the sense of just Batman. I haven't seen the new one yet, so I'll just go Christian Bale on top because I haven't seen the new one yet.
So I would rock that as an incomplete answer.
Yeah.
Just because
I don't know because I
don't have the facts.
I thought we were talking about Batman, so I was going in that.
No, I think we are. We're not talking about them as a person.
Although I was not one of those people that was like, oh, Ben Affleck, what's up with that? I was like, he's a great actor. I've seen some stills. It looks pretty badass.
He did a
You
great
know,
job.
That's
This is tough, man. I'm gonna go with Ben because I really thought he was really good, and I loved the whole older Batman take on it. But Christian Bale, I enjoyed him as Batman, but I
Correct.
hate him as a human being. And I don't know him. I never met him.
oh, good for you.
Only because
that's
of
awesome.
that tape.
I have that on my phone. There's actually someone who made a musical fucking like house mix to that,
Yeah.
which
What-
was awesome.
What happened? Someone like walked in and tried to fix the lights while he was preparing for a
Correct.
scene.
And,
Yeah.
and being an actor, what the last thing you want to do is see something out of the corner of your periphery as I'm talking to you. If someone's walking by, even though the camera's behind you and they're focusing on me, if I see someone moving by, it does distract
yeah.
you. Now, as an actor, you're supposed to be disciplined. You should literally have a fucking lucha libre fucking knife fight behind him and still be focused on the action and do it. So there's those arguments as well. So when I heard, but as the fact as, you know, sound guys always do, they never cut. They always roll. Even when they say cut, they'll still keep rolling just
Yep.
for their own safety. For them to record that argument was hilarious. I mean, there's been years. I mean, when you talk to any sound guy on any movie set who's been around, and you talk about the Sylvester Stallone recording,
That's what I was about to say.
it's the epic, legendary thing about
Stroke the
him, right? Yeah. I don't want to get in trouble, but yeah, it's something sexual in nature that there is a catchphrase literally that he said, and it's very funny.
That sound guy, true or false, never worked again.
Probably worked again. I wouldn't say professionally.
know
like
who
in a
he-
big, yeah, but I'm sure like other young kids were like, you're that guy. Oh, we totally want to hire you. You know.
Yeah, but that clip is so great though. We use it on the show all the time. Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't even half of it. That's Stern used that for a long time
Right.
too, right?
And then he's just screaming at the guy.
Yeah.
Top or bottom, number 3, comics or video games?
Video games for me.
Yeah.
And only because I have more experience with that than comics, like I said.
What system?
I'm a PC guy, actually.
Are you really?
Yeah, just because I build my own computers and I would trick the shit out of it with video cards, and so high graphics and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I have my PlayStation 3 and I have my Wii and all these other I don't have anything Xbox just because they would overheat and crash when I started gaming. I mean, not started, but when they came out, rather. But I had friends who had it, so I would play on their systems. So video gaming more than comics for me.
Are you like a first-person shooter kind of guy, or sport games?
All the above, to be honest with you. I do a lot of first-person shooter. You know, everybody did the old Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duties, you know, all those type of games out there. Wolfenstein, another one that came out recently, was the last one I bought. I haven't been catching up on anything. But I also do the fantasy epic battle thing, you know, like Guild Wars. I don't do Warhammer. I'm not a big believer in pay to play every month, a subscription to play a game. I'm on the road a lot, so I would lose money if I did that. So... you know, and sport games, obviously hockey, football, and the occasional soccer or baseball game.
I'm in a bit of a Twitter argument with EA Sports at the moment.
EA Sports.
It's in the game. It is.
That's all you got to do. You just got to say that, and everybody knows it's in the game.
Yeah.
They
It's like
really shit the
marketing
bed on
worked.
on this NHL, on the Xbox One.
What?
They shit the bed.
Oh, what'd they do?
Like, you can't connect and play online.
Oh, that's not just that game. That's
It's not.
that's a bunch of games. They're having an issue in general.
What the hell? Fix it.
I hear you.
Like,
It's
people make
Probably a
It's
software thing. They probably can
It's a
fix it.
Microsoft thing.
I bought the new system. I actually got it for Christmas, so I shouldn't say I bought it. But I only play. I own one game for every system I've had since I was in my mid-20s, and that's the NHL.
Right.
I buy every single year.
Right.
I expect it to work.
No, I hear you. But look, it's just like, you know, any new technology of any new porting item, someone dropped the ball on something. They assume someone else is doing it. Frank, what happened to such and such? Oh, I totally forgot that.
So-
well, we've already went gold. It's already released. I'm like, oh, shit. Plug-in. We'll totally do an update.
It says cannot connect to HUD when I'm trying to multi-play. So I snapped a picture of it and I tweeted at EA Sports and I was like, this is bullshit.
HUD?
And HUD, HUD. So they're like, well, did you reset your HUD? I'm like, what the fuck? Did I
What's
reset
HUD
my
mean?
what? I'm 40. I could barely turn on the Xbox One. It's so complex. I just want to put it in and multi-game.
That's
like,
what
play
she said.
somebody. right? Speaking of she,
Most people wanna
Frank, did you know that Derek had a commercial on the We Network?
I heard that.
You know, she, we, it kind of rhymed. Who do you,
Segue.
comics or video games?
I'm completely unqualified to answer this question.
Just to answer the question.
Comics for me.
I don't know. I used to collect comics when I was a kid, and the most up-to-date system I have right now is PlayStation 2. I like N64. I like old school stuff. So, I don't know, probably video games on top, but I don't really play either. You know what? Comic books on top because the comic book movies are more of what I watch nowadays.
It's so funny that you say you don't play video games.
I play like Mario Kart for N64.
Why is there no time in Derek D's day for video games? Does anybody want to answer that question?
I don't
before
like the
do?
new video games. They're too technical.
Maybe it's because
too
he's
complicated.
Maybe because he's Snapchatting.
Ah.
Maybe because he's on Instagram.
Mike's
and
been
Twitter.
Snapchatting more than me lately. He's all about it.
Okay, so the top bottom, Instagram or Snapchat?
Oh, Instagram's still on top.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Yeah, Instagram. Yeah,
You think?
yeah.
I feel like everything is died.
Snapchat's just like, hey, check this out at this moment. It's cool. That's it.
Instagram's forever.
The filters are cool though. They're funny. You can do fun stuff.
Like the dog and the mustache and all that jazz.
Yeah, like the mouths, the different mouths. And stuff.
Right. Oh, you're all about the mouth, huh?
He's like
Interesting. That's just to put a different spin on top of bottom.
He's like a 14-year-old schoolgirl, man. He really is.
What does that even mean?
It means every
'Cause
14-year-old
14 has
schoolgirl is
Snapchat?
Snapchatting. Right now, they're all Snapchatting.
He's talking as if he doesn't have it and been all about it lately.
I only send you private Snapchats, which sounds weird.
Look
everybody.
you see. Look at Jay Miller. He's always on his phone.
I do. My thing about Snapchat is I will just Snapchat people on their phone just to show the world that everybody's on their phone. That's kind of my Snapchat thing.
He's lying.
Top or bottom, number 4, Trump or Sanders?
Well,
Doesn't
I
it
mean-
make you want to go to Canada?
I actually joked about that with someone, really. You know what it is? I know Trump will never take bottom anything. But I will say Sanders only because Trump is just stick to real estate, bro.
Yeah.
Stick to real estate. His policies are just so extreme. And when you really put side by side how, and I'm just saying this, how a certain German dictator decided to campaign for his chance of becoming Chancellor of Germany after World War I, and this guy, it's almost the same technique. It's the other people's way
That's
of.
intense.
It's the other person's, reason why we're not doing well. We need to close the borders and we need to arm, and that's exactly what that guy did.
I
He's
will
like,
tell you one thing, though.
they were disarmed after World War I, so he's like, we need to bring the army back, even though the whole world said you're not allowed to because you guys are a little too hot-headed. It's like the alcoholics, like, don't have that whiskey. Put that whiskey down. You get crazy when you have whiskey.
Yeah. But when you're talking about Hitler, right? So
I didn't say it, but you did.
I did, and I don't disagree with you, but let's not forget that you have to have, the people have to be in the time frame or the time, set the mindset to need
or
that it has to
or lack of mindset.
you think it's just everybody's that dumb, or you think people are pissed off?
No, I think there are people who are pissed off, but then there are people who recognize when they're being manipulated to think that way. Because here's the thing. Give me the 5 points that Trump always says. What's the 5 things he hits?
I want to build a wall, make Mexico pay for it. Now
that's
women should be punished for having an abortion.
Okay. But he doesn't always say that because that backfired on him.
What else? What else is he saying? Don, what else are you saying?
Healthcare,
Healthcare? No, he's not talking about healthcare.
Not really. That'd be interesting. if he did.
immigration. Yeah, we said that already.
Close the border.
Close the border. We're going to make America great again.
Make America
We
great
never
again.
win anymore. I'm going to have the best army ever. I'm going to be, all this other stuff that is just like, okay, what's that policy?
Yeah, that's the tough.
When you
one.
start going like, okay, that sounds like awesome. What's in this soup? I'm going to make you the best soup ever. Okay, is it a chicken soup? Is it a seafood soup?
that's the tough. The
And
sell,
that's the sell
because-
about it. But I understand the frustration and the anger. We are all frustrated and angry at what is not happening when a president is not allowed to do or be part of the process. And some people on a certain side and some people on another side start to get to a stalemate point. But then you have in the vacuum that is decision making and the vacuum of let's get something done. I don't mind the extreme of Bernie in that sense, in that way. Or, Hillary is definitely someone who I respect her service to her country, her husband, the pseudo first black president, someone joke all the time, was still really good with certain policies and fell short on a lot of things. I mean, I'm a Democrat. I'm registered as a Republican, funny enough, but that was because when I was early on, when I was first voting at the time, there was no way I was voting for Dukakis because he was just a complete fool. But it's the type of thing where it's like, man, we can't get that extreme. We start losing who we are as Americans if we start thinking that we need to do certain policies that some of these Republicans are saying. And even then, like Kasich, who's extremely fiscally conservative, which I kind of am. I'm a fiscal conservative but social liberal, is just like, when he seems to be like the calm one out of the bunch, then you're like, where did we go?
Yeah.
Where the hell did this political system go?
I kind of agree with that too.
You know what I mean? And then on the side of the Democrat side, like, there is issues that the American people have with Hillary about the emails and certain things and policies she went through. And then Bernie, and you know what? Bernie is just like that old Jewish uncle who's like, you know what I would do? I would do this. We would make everybody healthy. I would make everybody educated because it's educated people that make people better. And I think we need to make sure that those fat cats in Wall Street don't steal our money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to do it. And everybody, pot for everyone. You know what I mean? It's like gay people go marry as well. That's fine by me, to be honest with you. As long as shit's being paid. We're not involved in some crazy kind of religious civil war, because I believe that's what the Middle East is when it comes down to it, it's a religious civil war. You'll never get over it. Americans in the Western world will never culturally assimilate to that mindset. If you are so fucked up that you're like, this is it, I am putting on this bomb, I'm going to walk into this crowd of 20,000 people, and I'm going to blow the shit up so that when I get to my maker, he's going to be like, good job, son, I'm glad you got rid of those people. It's just...
Here's 72 virgins.
And then you think you're gonna go like, you know what it is? It's American freedom is what you need. You need some Coca-Cola, some chicken, fried chicken, and some pizza. That'll straighten out your woes for where you're living, where you have no electricity, no fresh water, and everybody thinks you're a crazy, crazy fanatic. So, but that's enough of my rant.
No, I mean you're right though.
I mean,
everything you're saying is correct.
But then getting people to agree is the fucking stupidest thing
you're
ever.
never gonna. It's like Christmas dinner. You're never gonna get all the drunk uncles to agree.
I think you need to have pot legalized just in New York City, right at the UN. You have everybody around that Security Council smoking pot, and I'm not a pot smoker at all, but it makes everybody happy and agree. I think they'd be like, you know what, man, it's all right. Hey, when is that falafel getting here? Let's do some dinner, man.
I just think it's so funny though that like, but before Trump was even running and all this stuff, no one was like he's racist or any of that stuff. He was just known
he
as
had
like
this
pompous,
a very polished rich guy.
But you got to also look at it from the other angle of like the media is like crushing him, so everyone that might not even
here
know,
we go, the media's fault.
No, I'm not saying it's the media's fault. I'm just saying the way they portray him, whether he could be good or not. It's obviously like, you don't like him. You should not like him. You shouldn't like him. You don't really form your own opinion on him.
No, I don't think. I don't think
like Bernie is living in a fantasy world. Like middle class is gonna get fucked.
How do you know that someone's a fan? Like, here's the thing.
Who's gonna pay for all that?
They're recording. Well, how is everybody going to pay for this wall? You think really Mexico's going to go, here's your
I don't
check.
think Trump's going to be president.
Well, I'm just saying. But I mean, when people like, they argue like, well, how's he going to give free education and or free, that lower the healthcare issue? And he said like, if we do national healthcare, that premium that you're normally paying for your health insurance, which a lot of families, I have friends whose family that the Obamacare situation has fucked them in a sense. But then I have more of a majority of friends who that has actually helped. When pre-existing, if you had some sort of pre-existing issue that once you lost your job, you lost your health care insurance, and like I'm talking about like breast cancer survivors, I'm talking about people like that, and you tried to get insurance again on your own while you're in the middle of still finding your job, you were paying like $8,000 almost, and this is cancer. It's not like I can put that off and get my treatment later. So that type of thing where they cover you and stuff is something that I think was very good about that. Now, are there problems? That's any bureaucracy of anything. Talk to any vet, and you talk about the VA and the bullshit they got to go through, and that's been around forever. And that has nothing to do with abortions or free this or anything like that. This is a system that's been around forever, and they get fucked left and right. So it's the type of thing where someone's got to just go like, look, we have to seriously get this done. But with such disdain for just the fact that you are whatever party you're from, like, fuck you, I'm not working with you. It's just stupid. Where did this go
I agree.
wrong?
Yeah.
Like, where did it get bad? Like, we're living in the same country. We all want to have the same thing. So the whole like states' rights and let them all do what they want to do, I almost feel like is a good thing because trying to get things done federally is almost like, well, you might as well just wish for unicorns and rainbows while you're at it.
Yeah.
Let the states control their
I know.
healthcare
I
then.
100% agree with that thing. It's like we're all in this together. It's like you're this. And
I mean,
I'm
look
that.
what I just was down in Mississippi filming a short film with Jeremy London from Mallrats fame and Party 5. Really hilarious comedy called Monsters Anonymous. And I'd flown down there and they had just passed that law where, as business owners, I don't have to help. I don't have to bake a cake for gay weddings and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, first thing I got off the plane, this one guy's like, I just want to apologize for our legislation. I'm like, look, that's not going to stand up in court and blah, blah, blah. And shit goes on. But I digress.
What do you think about this? Like all the corruption that's kind of going, I don't want to call it corruption, but with the parties
Changing the rules?
Changing the rules, right? Do you think there's the possibility, get this shit, because they're doing the same thing to Bernie as they're doing to Donald. What if these two both don't get the nomination and they're like, you know what, fuck it, we're going to run together.
Yeah.
Independent ticket, Trump and Sanders.
But here's the thing, is like, here it is, they're like, well, people are upset with the system and stuff like that because you're doing exactly what you're doing.
Yes.
We're changing the rules. Well, the rules aren't the rules until the week of the convention. So I think to myself, okay, this is how you run, how your party operates. Imagine how they're running the banking industry.
Oh, it's so did you
know
watch
what
The
I
Big
mean?
Short?
Right,
The
exactly.
last title in The Big Short is they're doing it again.
Right.
They just changed the name.
Correct. So they make their own rules no matter what. And so if this is how they play with their own election, like, well, we'll make the rule when we get to that point.
Yeah.
Imagine how they do real laws that affect people. Well, don't worry about it. They're so stupid they'll never understand.
Yeah, it's insane.
Did you answer? Did you? You don't want to answer.
For which one?
Top or bottom?
Trump or Sanders?
Trump or Sanders?
I gotta go Trump.
Trump. I'm going to say Trump too. Frank?
Sanders.
I should have muted her. And the last one, top or bottom, number 5, stage or screen?
As an actor, I prefer stage just because I have that vibe of being with the audience, and especially if you're doing a comedy and you're hearing the laughs, and as someone who does live theater, I love it. Now, look, my bank account loves movies. Stage doesn't really pay. So on top, as far as my pure love, I got to say stage.
Frank, you've never even been on. You've never been. Do you want?
Well, what do you prefer to?
What do you
prefer
prefer
to
I
watch?
was going to say what I prefer to watch is stage.
Really?
I do. I like a good show. I like the entertainment factor, especially when there's music and high energy. I think it's more difficult to be a stage actor, so I am more impressed with the finished product.
She's absolutely right.
My fault.
He's calling in. He's like, God damn it.
I was
Hi,
trying to-
this is Trump. I want to argue why I should be on top.
I don't like going to the theater.
Because you can't yell at the screen?
No, I
Don't go in there!
constantly falling asleep when I watch anything. I'm like narcoleptic. So I would rather fall asleep on my couch or in a theater than a movie theater.
That's a
than-
weird.
I don't know. Like I've
That
been,
is a real word.
and it's tight. Like the last one I went to, I went and saw The Producers at the St. James Theater, and it's like you're in there like this, man. It's like even and I'm not.
Well,
a big
those are
person.
old school
We
theaters.
didn't say sitting in a theater or sitting in a movie theater.
No, the movie theater now you got a big bomb chair. It's great.
We actually really gonna go to sleep in that one. Like that, you really
But,
fall asleep.
Fuck, you can have sex in some of them.
You
They're
could, man. Like,
Couches.
you're
It's insane.
Yeah, but no. So I don't know. I didn't mean to skip you, but I say theater movies.
I mean, I love doing stuff on a screen, but yeah, I think stage, whether it's stand up or acting or in a play, you get that. Nothing's like that initial reaction right there. I mean, good or bad. It goes either way, and you learn from it.
Hey, is that the guy from Wii?
Dude, I was just gonna go there too. You beat me to it. You read it. You read my mind.
The joke was set up.
But I just like him, I make all my money on being on a screen.
DerekT.com, everybody. So speaking of the screen, let's talk a little bit about this. The movie you just Monsters Anonymous with London.
Jeremy London, we reconnected the past year on the Comic-Con kind of convention circuit, and he now lives down in the Mississippi area, and he wrote this script about what if the classic Universal monsters were in therapy because they're not scary anymore with the things that are going on
Like
in the
Frankenstein.
world. Yeah, literally, it's Frankenstein, Frankenstein's Bride, Wolfman, Dracula, and the Mummy, and then there's a person who's playing the therapist, and so it takes place in a community school therapy session, and
Like sitting around in a circle?
literally, yeah,
Oh, it's
like
awesome.
literally. And so I play Dracula, and we have quite a few of the actors he works with down in Mississippi. He has an acting school both in Mississippi and in New Orleans, and so we got to shoot this short. It's probably about like a 25, 30-minute short. We shot it this past weekend, and it was a lot of fun. And it's just, they're complaining about why things, because zombie movies are the big scary thing now, and just the stuff that you're seeing on the news is scarier than what they ever did, and so you're hearing their woes about why they're not scary anymore. Dracula complaining that every time he goes shopping and the cashier is giving him the change and she's like, "You have $1, $2, $3 wonderful dollars." Like, it's humiliating. It's things like that.
That's great. True or false? Jeremy London's a twin.
Correct.
Why do I know that, man?
To Jason London, who was from Dazed and Confused.
That's not the same. Oh, wow, I thought so. They're both actors.
They're both actors.
I did not know. Party 5.
Correct. That's Jeremy.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow, I loved Party 5. Yeah. Where is Nev?
She's on.
She's on the Weed Network.
Yeah.
No. Fuck you.
Wait, Nev's back. Nev's back?
House of Cards.
Something like that.
She
Yeah.
is.
Fourth season. The season I'm currently watching.
Actually, Lacey Gervais also lives down in Mississippi as well. Just retired and just chilling.
Do you remember Nev Campbell in?
Yes.
What was the name of it?
With Mark Wahlberg.
In the pool?
No,
Wild
in
Things.
Pool. Oh, Wild Things.
Wild Things. Yeah.
Jacuzzi,
I knew where
right?
you were going with that.
Matt
Like in the
Dillon.
pool.
They're making out with
Damn it, I love
two
that.
chicks making out, right?
Love that movie.
Yeah.
And then that
Who was the other chick?
And then that Spring Breakers movie
Denise
tried to
Richards,
recreate
right?
that.
Oh, I didn't. I never saw it, but that was with Franco.
Yeah. And those two chicks.
Oh.
Hudgens. What's
Selena
her name?
Gomez. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Well, Vanessa
Was it
Vanessa Hudgens
Vanessa
and
Hudgens.
some other chick. They tried to reenact that scene. There.
We're like fumbling on everybody's name. We're like a bunch of 60-year-olds sitting around.
Who
having
is
tea.
that guy again who
Was it?
played in that movie that was there the other day?
Was it Selena Gomez?
Is it
don't
time
know.
for my pudding?
When could we see Monsters Incorporated?
Well, we literally just got done finishing, so they're going to go through editing probably by, I would say, no sooner than the end of summer, or who knows? I don't know how good their editor is, but we'll then get it out to different film festivals and comedy fests.
Is there a discrepancy there with Monsters Inc. or no?
It's
Monsters
Monsters
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Did I say
you
incorporated?
said
Yeah, he said
incorporated,
incorporated.
but
It's like
that's fine.
alcoholics. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous.
It's
or
unbelievable. Like,
Yeah.
That makes
how
perfect
my
sense.
mind is not working today.
Yeah, I was wondering what
Derek's
you're
having
saying.
a bad day.
He's the one having the bad day.
Right?
Why was it a bad day?
Yeah. Talk to us about this.
Because you had a bad day.
Day. No. My editor for FLD is going crazy right now.
Ah, bastard.
Back to the editors.
Fire him.
As a camera nerd, do you know what you shot on?
Yeah, we shot on a Red Dragon.
Oh, you did.
Oh, nice.
Ah, so no bullshit.
No.
That's a serious camera.
I don't deal with bullshit.
You don't.
Is it all-
Although I'm here. No,
right, GoPros, surrounded by GoPros.
Are you all in one? You said it's like a therapy session. Is the whole short film take place right there, or there's cutaways to like?
There's cutaways. There's cutaways and stuff like that. And then there's a big finale outside the actual place. But yeah. It was we had to shoot at night because obviously Dracula can't come to sessions unless it's at night. Just so happens to be a full moon.
So continuity is correct.
So it's a full moon.
werewolf
So
there?
Werewolf is in his full
like it.
attire, and we were all in makeup for, especially Wolfman was in, and Frankenstein were in makeup for a good 2 hours before. So it's serious stuff.
That's great, man.
Yeah, it's nice. When you find a funny script, no matter how long or short it is, and you're able to put it out, I think it's worth doing. You know what I mean? And Jeremy, after this, and him and his brother and this other guy are writing a Civil War piece after this, a feature that we were talking about. And it's that type of thing where one thing leads to another,
Yeah.
and friends want to work with people again that they like working with. And I mean, that's if you ever watch like Spike Lee movies or even Spielberg or
Scorsese. Yeah,
everybody. They all like working with people that get
Tarantino,
them.
right? It's like-
it's once you build a connection with people, you want to work with them again.
We just threw out all those examples and we didn't say Kevin Smith.
No,
right?
that's exactly how
Yeah.
it was. I mean, I've done, I think now 7 of his films,
Sure.
and it's always been great.
Vulgar,
Dark.
right? Who directed Vulgar?
Wrote, directed, co-starred by Brian Johnson. Yes, the same Brian Johnson on
From
Comic Book Man.
Tom Steve Dave, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't Quinn in that movie? What did he have?
Yeah, he was a cop.
He was, right?
He was a cop. Yeah, dark. It's a buddy comedy about two guys who are friends. One is a party. I play a guy who's a party clown for kids. You know, who would come to your normal kid's birthday party, not making enough money. His mother's in an assisted living type of facility where there's a co-payment, a big co-payment. So he's trying to make money to pay the co-payment. He lives in a boarding room himself. Decides to get an idea to make more money to become a party clown for adults.
And his name is Vulgar?
And the name of the party clown is Vulgar.
Okay.
And his first gig goes horribly wrong. And I'm not going to spoil it for people who want to see it. There's two different versions. There's the unrated version, which is the one that we recommend. And then there's the rated R version, which when there's this place called Blockbuster was around, you'd be able to rent it. And they would only allow rated R or below type of videos.
Is Vulgar on Netflix?
It might be, but I think it's the rated R version.
Big difference?
It's a more complete story. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. They may tighten things up and shorten things up a little. I mean, it was a film that when we were promoting it with Stern when he was still on free radio, he said, guys, I got to tell you something. It was I watched the film, but I had to stop it halfway because it was that disturbing. And when Stern said that, it was like,
I gotta go watch it.
huge endorsement. Like if something made him stop watching it.
I mean, not as bad as like the Human Centipede, but
No. And that's the thing is like I see movies today and I'm like, well, fuck. Vulgar. Just like even when Clerks got the NC-17 just for language. I'm like, today the topics that are brought up are fucking crazy that, now it's like, oh, that's nothing.
What did you shoot Clerks on?
That was
film?
Super, I think that was
Super
Super
8?
16,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
We shot that on in black and white film, only because we couldn't afford a lighting package to take over from what the store had, which was fluorescence.
Fluorescent, yeah.
And if you shoot color film under fluorescence, everybody turns green. So we did black and white with just a limited amount of lights and shoot at night. So that's why the shutters were closed, so we didn't have to light outside either to make it look like daylight.
Do you know the answer to this? It's all coming to me now. But like, did he cut that? I'm trying to think. What year was Clerks?
93 we shot it. It came out in
so
94.
he might have nonlinear edited that on a computer, but
No.
did he cut the
Oh
film?
no, that was a
He did-
Steenbeck. They rented a Steenbeck, brought it into the video store because he literally still worked
Yeah.
at the convenience store. So the video store never opened until 11 a.m. So in the mornings he'd go to the back of the store and literally cut raw.
cut it. Wow.
Raw film and put that all together. Him and Scott Mosier did that.
Mm-hmm.
Literally old school way. Now it's just laptop.
Yeah,
I mean,
man, right on
look
this.
at. Louis C.K. He shoots on DSLRs and
Yeah.
edits on his ProBook, and they just hand him money. He hands them the finished product, and it's done. He's got the best deal in television, personally.
He edits that as well,
He was just
Yeah,
on
he edits himself
and he probably does it on his laptop on his couch,
in New York
man.
City. Yeah,
Yeah,
He does.
that's great, man. That's all you need now. Like, in production, I see tons and tons of waste financially. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need all of what you used to need.
No.
I could pretty much do I could shoot a film if I wanted. If we wrote a good idea right here where we kill off Derek, great idea to start with. We could, I could shoot film. I could film it. I could do sound. I can edit it. I could light it. Everything, and I don't need anybody else. It could be nice to have help.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend doing it all by
You
yourself.
could though. You couldn't do that.
but you could
10
do
years
easily.
ago.
I mean, look, we shot Clerks with pretty much 3 people. It was Kevin directing, Dave Klein, the camera operator, and Scott Mosier doing sound. And that was it. Like when we first started, we had like 14 people around, like, oh, we're going to shoot a movie. And everybody was ready there to help. And then when they realized how slow and monotonous and repetitive filmmaking is, we went down from 15. The next day we had 10. The next day we had 12. The next day we had like 4.
Phil can't make it.
Yeah.
Right. It was just like, this is boring. I'm not sitting around all night for fucking nothing.
Yeah, but it turns out to be magic.
Well, yeah.
Clerks and Mallrats, top or bottom. That would have been a good one.
For me, I mean, I liked Mallrats.
I liked them both. I probably go.
I mean, I like them both, but I liked Mallrats.
Yeah.
Mallrats. I never worked at a convenience store, but I did. I was a mall rat, so it like hit me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I dug that about it. What about you?
Oh, duh.
All right. When's the last time you heard that sound? When you shot Clerks?
14, was it 14.4, 14.7?
Yeah, about
Baud
modem
rate.
speed.
Baud rate.
What's the first memory that pops in your head when you?
AOL.
Do you remember your screen name?
Yeah.
All right.
Still have it.
Oh, do you still use it?
Yeah.
Are you? Are you?
Is it an email or an IM name or something?
No, it's an email.
What, do you remember the IM? Instant Messenger?
Same IM, yeah.
Would you tell us what? You don't have to tell it on air what it is, but
I don't answer it, so you can try to IM me.
Okay,
anyway,
so
but-
so Derek has this uncanny ability to pinpoint it.
Okay.
Let's give him a shot. See what he does. I mean, he usually gets it down to the number.
Yeah, but I haven't in a while. So I don't know. It'd probably be like.
You just so you know, you will never fucking guess what it was.
You don't know that, man.
No, I do not. Okay.
Well, it's probably now they said that it's probably not his name. It has nothing to do with his name. Like your name's it's probably not O'Halloran.
because you said the very first one, so I'm gonna say you'll never fucking get it.
I don't know. It's gonna say like, something O'Hal or something. But that's
He's way off, right?
Yeah.
So well.
It's
I mean, I wouldn't even guess it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's probably
and I wrote it. What it was I was out in California. A friend of mine introduced me to AOL and his stuff, and being in California, red wine and wine in general is a big thing. So I started getting into wine. It's kind of like a Sideways fucking movie.
Great movie.
Right.
Yeah, it was a
And so there's that book called The Sinister Plot of Dr. Moreau, rather.
Mm-hmm.
So I jokingly wanted to make my first wine Dr. Merlot, like in wine, right?
Yeah, I would never guess that.
But someone already had, for some stupid fucking reason, Dr. Merlot. So then I said, what if I was the gynecologist Merlot? So I put it GYN Merlot.
There's no way.
And
That was your
it.
screen
That was the
name?
very first one I built. But then they said, you can do 7. So I did, all right, well, that'll be the one that fucking spam will come to, which it is. When I want to jump on something like some sort of crazy fucking Asian porn shit, I'm like, well, that's my thing. There you go. And then the rest is then I do have other, name-based AOL accounts. And that's my main account still is AOL to this day, just because so many people over the years have it. Now, do I have Gmail as well? Yes, I have a Gmail account for my businesses and stuff like that. I have it for the O'Halloran and everything else for that matter. So, yeah. But,
I would have never gotten that.
yeah, but I mean, that's when you were waiting forever, and just chat rooms. That's all you did. There was nothing else. Because if you tried if you tried going to other web pages and you didn't have a fast enough connection and/or video card,
jeez.
it just that line per line loading
And trying to get a naked picture of a chick.
yeah, it was just like, oh fuck this.
So pizza and the beer is what gets you in the room, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's all about the revolution of our guests, right? So in the year 2050, you're sitting back in your reclining chair and you're looking at your industry.
Okay,
What does it look like?
I assume we're into the hollow movies now.
Yeah?
I would think. I mean,
Like-
the hologram in front of you, like the Death Star. Like
Like
we
not
have
even-
plans to destroy you. Blah blah blah. blah.
Like not even wearing the Oculus.
You're sitting
Rift,
in the
like,
movie
you're
watching
It's
it
just
Yeah,
there.
I think what's going to happen is you're going to have it built.
Like
into
help
your
me,
thing.
one Obi-Wan. Help me, Obi-Wan. Your only hope.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where it's going. I mean,
that'd
isn't
be
that
so
isn't that
sick.
that Tom movie that where he's the hologram and the king is coming out soon?
I
With Tom Cruise?
Oscar winner. How am I not remembering his name? Hanks. Hanks.
Oh, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. There's a new movie called The King and the Hologram, where he's introducing new technology to the Saudi Arabian king. And it's this whole hologram technology. So I think that's where it's going to go. Are we going to plug in like the Matrix? I fucking doubt it. Not in my lifetime anyway.
Yeah.
But I definitely think, but here's the thing, like theaters will never die because I think blockbuster type movies and comedies especially you want to see with groups of people. And plus teenagers need a place to fuck around without their parents watching. And
Right.
I think, and parents need a place to drop kids off so they can fuck around without
That's
the
a
kids
good
watching.
point that nobody ever.
No
brings
one's ever
up,
brought
man.
that up,
That's
yeah.
a very good point.
Oh, true. Trust me. Like people need to separate from people and watch things in groups. It's like, would you rather watch a concert on your TV with the big giant 7.1 Dolby surround, or would you rather be there smelling
Yeah.
the pot in the air
Right.
while the chick is taking her bra off and throwing it on stage? You want to
Yeah.
be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good point, man.
Yeah, people will always want that live aspect of shows. I mean, that'll never go away.
No. Teenagers, you'll always have teenagers that need to get away from their fucking parents, no matter what they do.
Will you be in the hologram? So like, if we're like, can the hologram be playing pool over there and you can enter it?
Well, that's the thing. Depending on how much money you have as a homeowner, you know what I mean? I have the money to actually be part of in it, or I just
Yeah.
have the one where I can just see it in a distance.
Or you're playing someone in pool somewhere else, and they're
else.
beaming that hologram, so it's like they're walking around it.
So you're chilling, you're hanging, but you're in
hanging.
London.
Well, look, I mean, look at what this weekend or last weekend they released that Henry
Oh yeah, the
First person shooter.
first person whole movie.
Oh, the movie.
Which I
yeah.
remember. I remember when that hit the internet when they were just starting out.
That GoPro?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was-
and that whole
yeah.
beginning trailer to raise their funds, and I literally got a headache watching it because your body wants to be able to be in control of how you're moving.
Yeah.
and so I started getting a headache. So I'm curious to see if anybody was getting headaches while watching that.
The whole movie's not from that perspective.
Oh,
though.
no, it is.
The entire movie's from
Yeah.
the one person's perspective.
That's the whole. That's the game. That's the hook. That's it.
I
Yeah.
wonder if he dies. Brian, thank you so much for coming out, man. I really
Not at all.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here.
Is there anything you want to plug on the way out?
If you want to keep in touch with me, I do have Twitter accounts. Brian C, the letter C as in Christopher, my middle initial name. Brian C. O'Halloran. Also, I do have my own podcast that I'm still working on, the O'Halloran. It has its own Twitter, the O'Halloran. It also has its own Facebook page. We're working on other things as well. And follow me on Facebook as well. I'm on the road. I'm going to be in Toledo, Ohio at FantasticCon. I'm going to be in Cornwall, Canada the following weekend after that. And that's in Cornwall, Canada, the Cape, which is the Expo, PopCon Expo. I'll be at Undiscovered Realms in Westchester, New York, the weekend of the 20th and 30th of April. So the
You're
Cape,
a busy man.
I am. I seriously am, dude. You have no idea. It's been a lot of fun. I have Comic Book Day down in Atlantic City at Level Up Comics down in Hamilton Square Mall in Atlantic City to May 7th. And then, so many people. I've Virginia Beach, Virginia on April 21st and 22nd. And then Traverse City, Michigan, where the hockey juniors are always held. Cherry Capital.
So you don't really live in Staten Island.
you just have you hang your hat there.
That's where I have my stuff, right?
You outplugged our exit music.
I tried to.
It's like that's
I had to make up for all that Wii plugging. I'm like, damn, we got plugged like 29,000 times tonight.
pizza.
I was not plugging weight.
PizzaBeerRevolution.com. You can find us on the web, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram us. Give us some love and we'll love you back. Fine, go to PBRpodcast.com. It takes you to the same place.
Let's go, Rangers!
Yeah. We'll see you.
Bye.
Thank you.
That was funny.